Welcome to the Sony exhibit and to our presentation on Sony's vision for the IP-connected future. At Sony, we help you go beyond definition. We listen carefully to broadcasters and production companies, solving their problems with practical workflow innovation. We help you cut through the complexity of next-generation technologies. Our breakthroughs empower you not simply to create content, but also to move it, manage it, and automate your entire workflow. These are bold claims, but they're well supported by our vision for the IP-connected future. Sony's vision simplifies, replacing the separate infrastructures of SDI for live production and IP for file-based production, and creating a single, unified IP network for both. Sony's vision lowers equipment costs, replacing expensive dedicated SDI routing switches with commercial off-the-shelf IP switches from the multi-billion-dollar networking industry. So, you're leveraging the ever-increasing capacity and the ever-decreasing prices in this fiercely competitive market where Juniper, Cisco, and Huawei contend. Sony's vision enables you to do more with less, originating more channels to reach a fractured audience wherever and however they're watching, over the air, over the top, on cable, on the web, or over social media. Sony's vision readily scales to 4K, 8K, HFR, HDR, and beyond. Sony's vision has the potential to transform operations with entirely new cost-saving possibilities for virtualization and REMI, remote integration. As just one example, imagine the savings when you can broadcast a game where only the cameras, the camera operators, and talent are on location, and the rest of the production team, director, TD, color shaders, replay operators, and audio engineer, remains in your bricks and mortar studio. No less important, Sony's vision sacrifices nothing. You lose none of the bedrock requirements that live broadcasting absolutely must have. Bulletproof reliability, uncompromising picture quality, minimal latency, faultless sync, seamless switching, and not least, multi-vendor interoperability. To make this vision a practical reality, Sony has been hard at work behind the scenes developing IP live technology. Sometimes working alone, many times cooperating with other industry leaders and standard-setting bodies, we've developed and supported a vast portfolio of new technologies. Audio-video mapping converts real-time audio-video and ancillary data into IP packets that can traverse standard IT network fabrics. Compression. Sony's low-latency video codec enables up to 4 simultaneous 1080-60i signals to be carried on a single 1 gigabit Ethernet cable. This visually lossless codec also scales beautifully for 4K, carrying 2 UHD 4K signals across a single 10 gigabit Ethernet cable. Synchronization. Each packet is time-stamped and the entire system is synchronized to sub-microsecond accuracy, thanks to SMPTE ST2059 standards for precision time protocol. Real-time performance. Standard Ethernet delivers packets on an asynchronous best performance available. This is not nearly good enough for live broadcasting where frames must air synchronously. Sony's approach establishes the equivalent of a fast lane on the network, giving priority to audio-video and ancillary data assets. Hitless failover. The system sends 2 copies of your signal over 2 links through separate network paths. So, if a link or a path should happen to fail, the show continues without a visible hit. And finally, there's seamless switching. Just as SDI-based switchers must transition glitch-free from one input to the next, so must IP Live. Sony technologies make it possible, using destination-timed switching methods for perfectly seamless results. At Sony, we took our first steps towards IP Live products 5 years ago with the NXL IP55 production unit, which provided point-to-point IP carriage for up to 4 simultaneous HD signals plus control. We followed with the foundation of Sony's present technology, the Network Media Interface NMI integrated circuit. We built this chip into converter and multiplexer cards, which plug into our conversion frame. The brains of the operation is our IP Live System Manager workstation. This provides the orchestration and the management data within the system. And the heart of Sony's approach are commercial, off-the-shelf IP switches. While others recommend proprietary, extra-cost switches, Sony created a system to leverage the tremendous economies of scale of commodity switches. You save money because you're standing on the shoulders of the multi-billion-dollar networking market. On this platform, Sony has built a growing ecosystem of IP Live compatible components, including some of the most acclaimed equipment in broadcasting. The Emmy Award-winning HDC 4300 is the world's first 2/3 inch broadcast camera with native 4K sensors. It now has an electrically and optically identical twin, the HDC P43 point-of-view camera. The HDC 4800 achieves up to 16 times super slow motion in HD and up to 8 times slow motion in 4K Ultra HD. The platform also supports live configurations of our high-end Super 35 cameras, the F55 and the F65. You can use processors like our BPU 4500 as well as the PWS 4500 instant replay server with SharePlay technology. And we built a new line of multi-format production switchers dubbed XVS to support IP Live. Powerful as these products undoubtedly are, we know you live in a multi-vendor world. And that's why Sony is committed to multi-vendor compatibility. For example, we've spearheaded the IP Live Alliance to promote the broadest possible compatibility with Sony's network media interface. We've seen demonstrations of NMI-compatible products from many companies, including Leader, 4A, and NEC. Sony is a member of JTNM, SMPTE, VSF, AMWA, and AIMS, who are all IP standardization or promotion bodies. Sony has been very actively participating in new IP standardization discussions and developments since ST2059 PTP, and now for proposed ST2110 and AMWA NMOS ISO 4. Sony has committed to support proposed ST2110 and NMOS ISO 4 once they become standards. To prove this, we welcome you to visit the IP Showcase located in N4824. There, you'll see IP interoperability between Sony and multiple vendors highlighting proposed ST2110, ST2059, and NMOS ISO 4. It's easy to see why we call our IP Live solutions ready today, open for tomorrow. Empowered by some of the most advanced components in broadcasting and supported by multi-vendor compatibility, Sony's IP Live technology is ready to do amazing things. For example, you can use IP Live to achieve centralized AV routing. To connect many rooms and studios inside and outside a broadcast center, SDI requires complicated main and sub-router configurations. This, plus the need for high reliability and 24/7 operations, results in very high costs. Sony's IP Live technology dramatically simplifies the wiring among studios and control rooms and among your central facility and satellite locations. The system also enables powerful remote maintenance. Not only does IP Live result in substantial cost reduction, it greatly eases future expansion. To get more ports and bandwidth, just upgrade the speed of the IP infrastructure. IP Live marks a substantial step forward in mobile production units. Compared to IP Live, conventional 3G SDI cabling requires high cost, high weight, and high storage volume. These penalties become even more onerous in the transition to 4K program production. For example, each 4K 60p connection requires 4 3G SDI cables. In contrast, with compression-enabled, IP Live can carry 2 4K 60p signals on a single fiber interconnect. Our calculations for a sample 8-camera truck reveal a 75% reduction in the number of cables and an 85% savings in cable weight. That's equivalent to 268 kilograms, or as we say in Nevada, 600 pounds. The savings in size and weight are major advantages when you're configuring a road-going production unit. Clearly, IP Live changes how you can wire a mobile production. It also changes how you can configure that production. Conventional SDI trucks require you to roll up to the stadium with the switcher, SDI router, servers, camera controls, and all the associated personnel. IP Live can change all of that with a new outside broadcast configuration called Remote Integration, REMI. Also called at-home or home run production, REMI makes it possible to cover remote events from your own bricks and mortar control room. With REMI, IP connections establish high-quality, low-latency bidirectional communication between the remote site and your broadcast center. This means that your switcher, servers, camera control panels, and all the associated staff can stay right in your building, dramatically reducing the resources that you deploy to the remote sites. The savings in travel cost alone are enormous. And as the universe of live event coverage keeps expanding, REMI empowers you to keep production costs in line with audience size. Sony's IP Live technology makes it possible. Broadcasters around the world are starting to experience the advantages of Sony's IP Live technology for themselves. It began in Rio with the TV Globo coverage of the Summer Games and the world's first 4K IP mobile unit. So let's hear from Raimundo Barros, Chief Technology Officer at TV Globo, about this historic achievement. He says, "This February, TV Globo experienced a broadcast first, live broadcasting Brazilian Carnival in 4K HDR, taking full advantage of the capabilities of our new Sony-powered 4K IP truck. The Sony IP Live technology made it possible for us to fit the amazing capabilities of 4K HDR in one single OB truck, providing the flexibility of IP with the familiarity and confidence level of a conventional AV infrastructure. IP technology is future-proof and rock solid. We will continue to expand our OB truck's capabilities, doing more and better. That is the Globo way." And at this NAB, we're pleased to announce that the British Broadcasting Corporation has selected Sony's IP Live. Here's the story.
BBC StudioWorks is partnering with Sony to deliver 3 brand new TV studios at Television Centre. We'll be shooting all sorts of things from pre-recorded TV to big live Saturday night shows and everything in between. It really is going to be the most exciting new studio opening for a long time in London. Sony are delivering to us 22 cameras, of which 8 are 4K, 3 XVS switchers and over 200 monitors. Television Centre is a really important investment for StudioWorks, so whilst we needed technology that works now, we also needed technology that's going to work in the next 10 to 15 years. IP Live production basically gives us the ability to transfer data down one cable rather than installing 4. It also really opens the door to 4K and HDR as well, which is great for us. I think the main reason StudioWorks chose Sony was just they provided a real 360 package for us. It gave us the flexibility we needed for the pricing that was important, but it also was a name that our customers already know and trust, and a package that really integrates well into our existing infrastructure. We've really appreciated Sony's open standards approach, so that's allowed us to really integrate a lot of workflows that already work really well for us, as well as sort of thinking about how it can work for us in the future. Television Centre really will be the best studio in the UK, and we will be opening for shows in September this year.
Today, I've mentioned 3 powerful applications for Sony's IP Live: centralized routing, mobile production, and remote integration, or REMI. But live producers are only just beginning to discover the possibilities. For example, it's a short step from REMI to centralized production. This configuration enables a single regional or national control room to manage multiple production sites. Centralizing the bricks and mortar recording and production facility improves resource utilization, lowers costs, and brings high-end live production to more events than ever. In addition to sports, applications include entertainment, education, government, and faith. There's also resource sharing. We designed our XD cam switchers with a modular X panel. IP Live leverages this, enabling a single Sony switcher to produce literally multiple events at once. You can apply some mix effects banks to one show while the rest work a separate show. Just as the transition from tape to file-based production transformed non-real-time workflows, IP Live technology has the potential to redefine the future of live production. Consider virtualization. Just imagine removing physical equipment from the plant and moving it into a remote data center. Imagine saying, I need a switcher for an hour, and getting that switcher on demand. Now imagine that concept extended to an entire control room provided as needed. Live production as a service will furnish switcher IOs, replay IOs, and everything else you need on a subscription basis. At least for top-tier broadcasting, our physical control rooms and mobile units are not disappearing anytime soon. Nevertheless, the economic and creative potential for IP Live technology is transformational. By now, I hope you share our excitement about the prospects of IP Live infrastructure. You've seen how Sony has been hard at work, not simply developing cutting-edge products, but also cooperating behind the scenes with leading third-party suppliers and standard-setting bodies to make our vision of IP Live a practical reality. So, if you want to leverage the cost savings, the workflow benefits, and the incredible operational efficiencies of IP Live production, you want to make Sony your business partner. Start the conversation with your Sony representative right here at NAB. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention and have a great show, everybody. Thank you so much.